Hi guys, this is Weekly from Weekly Disaster Games, and I'm here to talk about a lot of the news that's just been popping up from the internet recently. So, we're around that time of the month, June. A pretty good time for gamers, usually the time when E3 happens, and of course, with the E3 fervor in the air, we usually get a lot of information. A lot of times from leaks, a lot of times from teasers, but, well, this time we're getting full-blown reveals, announcements, trailers, and, well, the whole 9 yards, straight from the publishers and the developers themselves. I gotta say, it's definitely different than usual. We usually get this sort of stuff on the day of E3, but it is exciting nonetheless, and perhaps we might even get even more explosive information when E3 actually comes. So, let's get straight into the docket here with Monster Hunter World. So Monster Hunter World was a game that released pretty well, released in January last year, and it was the highest selling Monster Hunter game for Capcom, period. The game did gangbusters, and it's pretty easy to see why. It was the first Monster Hunter World captured on a console system rather than, well, the usual portables, and it really shows. Now, the quality of the portables, they're impeccable. They did a really great job with the tech that they had at the time, but with the consoles, it takes it to a whole other level. Graphically, CPU-wise, artificial intelligence, I mean, we see the monsters behave in different ways, we see them attacking each other, we see them interacting with the environment, and not 100% of that stuff was possible to the extent on a portable system. Now, free from those things, and on the consoles, we really get to see the Monster Hunter take a whole new shine. It's really exciting. And of course, since the game did very well, we are getting an expansion. Now, usually in the Monster Hunter series, they don't really do expansions. They do, they make an X game or an Ultimate game or something like that. Basically, they resell you the game, but with a bunch of new content in it. It's pretty good. Now, we're not getting it this time, but we are getting the Iceborne expansion. Now, the Iceborne expansion is pretty much doing what the other iterations of new Monster Hunter games did in the past, and, well, it's adding Master Rank, formerly known as G Rank in the other games. It's adding a brand new location, a bunch of new monsters, returning and new, and it looks very exciting. Now, Monster Hunter World itself did not ship with an Iceborne location, and now that we see it, I gotta admit, it's different, it's pretty, and who knows, maybe different armor sets might have iterations for winter. Maybe they won't, maybe they will, maybe they'll just be brand new winter armor sets, so that's really cool. Of course, we got to see the Tigrex. Now, the Tigrex is a legendary monster from the series. A lot of fans know it, and a lot of fans, they didn't get to know it in the nicest ways. Now, the Tigrex is known as one of the biggest walls for a lot of new Monster Hunter players, and it shows. It's a giant T-Rex that walks on all fours, screams very loudly, and it charges like, well, it just keeps on charging at you, and it usually kills you that way. Now, the Tigrex is legendary in the Monster Hunter community, and to see it in Monster Hunter World, it is exciting. I will say it seems bigger than I remember from the portable games, but you know what? Perhaps that's going to make it even more imposing when you're running away from this thing. Now, of course, we also got a little bit look at the Elder Dragon. Now, the Elder Dragons in the Monster Hunter series are like these top boss monsters. They really are. They're like forces of nature. And this one, well, to meet the theme of Iceborne, is one that controls ice quite well. We can't really get too many specifics from the trailer itself. I mean, you can definitely see it, but I really do look forward to fighting that monster. Though for me, it might be a little while before I get onto it. I actually got Monster Hunter World on PC. Now, of course, PC content is delayed by several months, so I won't be seeing Iceborne until then, but I will be there right with you guys looking at footage of it, and you know what? I might double dip with a PS4 or not. I don't know, but we'll see. Otherwise, it looks very exciting, very promising, and it's coming in September 6th. Isn't that crazy? Well, anyway, definitely looking forward to it. And let's talk about the next news on the docket. So The Surge was a great game when it came out. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely a good game to emulate Dark Souls, and well, it's getting a sequel. Now The Surge is, how could I put it? It's a very technologically advanced version of Dark Souls. You wake up in this company, you wake up in this company zone. You definitely are not fully functioning. You came there as a person that could not walk. They had to use a wheelchair, and now you have these You have this exoskeleton bolted to your body, and, well, you gotta make the best of it with all these monsters and, crazy monster techno-zombies that are after you. Now, The Surge itself was a pretty solid game. I definitely liked the atmosphere that it produced. It was a little light on boss fights, but the level design, it was fine. Graphically, it was pretty, and the mechanic of chopping off people's weapons and armor to bolt onto your own suit was definitely very appealing for the time, and I definitely think it was a good enough gimmick to let it stand on its own apart from Dark Souls. Now, of course, with The Surge 2, we can see a lot of improvements in a lot of different areas. For example, we could get more bosses. In the actual image on the tweet that they announced, we get to see a pretty big machine. It's walking on all fours, and it seems a little bigger than the usual Surge bosses. Now, this could be exciting. For all we know, this could be the intro boss, but it's really nice that they're leading with this. They're really telling us, hey, this is The Surge 2. We're going to be saying, things of this size, usually, and I gotta admit, I'm a little excited. Now, The Surge 2 will be releasing to all consoles on September 24th. We don't know if it's going to be an Epic Store exclusive, we don't know if it's going to be on Steam, we don't know where exactly it's going to release, but ideally, it'll release to the platform that people prefer. I prefer Steam, so I'm hoping for that. I will wait if it does come on Epic, but hopefully we do get it. Now, let's get on to the next thing on the docket. Destiny 2. Destiny 2, as you guys know, was a game that released to, critically it was definitely not as good as Destiny 1 when they finished up with that game, unfortunately. They have worked very hard with the expansions afterwards to try to improve it, and I think now Destiny 2 is in a state that, I would say that is acceptable. The state is pretty good. A lot of people, they may or may not be on it at this time, but you know what? They may have a reason to log back on, because now we have Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. Now, this was leaked from a data mine on the PC version. We even have a picture. You can find this on Resetera. And, there's not a whole lot to go off. It's an image. But what's interesting about this is going to be the first thing that, Bungie's in charge of since their departure of Activision. Now, I don't know how it's going to work with all the legal mumbo-jumbo. Perhaps Activision may still be involved, or perhaps this is full-blown Bungie doing it themselves. But it is very exciting nonetheless. Bungie was able to part with Activision with the Destiny license, so perhaps it is fully done by themselves. But I will say, it's exciting. I really want to see what they can do with it. It might be better than what we've ever seen before, now that they don't have Activision over them, but it's hard to tell. So definitely exciting stuff. We'll probably see a lot more information around the E3 time. It seems like that's their standard. Of course, this is a leak, Leaks do come around this time, so this is not official. It's pretty official. This is probably happening. But the fact of the matter is, we haven't seen everything just yet, and we will likely see it on E3. So all you Bungie players out there, all you Destiny players, it looks like there's going to be something pretty exciting headed to you guys. And finally, I would like to end the broadcast with a bit of speculation. Now, as you can see, I have Resident Evil gameplay going up. And, Capcom usually likes to save their surprises for, E3 itself. Now, we could maybe get a Resident Evil 8, more in the line of Resident Evil 7 with the first-person shooters, or a lot of people are pretty excited for a potential Resident Evil 3 remake. Resident Evil 3 was a pretty good game at its time, just like Resident Evil 2. It had the Nemesis, who's kind of like the tyrant that's in the footage right now, except, he's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit faster, a little bit more rocket launchery, if you can take what I mean there. That would be very cool. I would really like to see what they can do with Resident Evil 3, but maybe we will get Resident Evil 8, which is definitely not something I would be pretty happy with that too. I actually really enjoyed Resident Evil 7. I did not mind the first person at all. It was very exciting. And you know what? If we get a Resident Evil 8 in the line of Resident Evil 7, I definitely want to see what they do with it. Resident Evil 7 did have writers from a Western background, which was pretty interesting for the series, seeing that Capcom, is a predominantly Japanese company. So maybe what they can do is they can alternate. They can make Resident Evil 8, more along the lines of 7 with, the American horror writers, and maybe with Resident Evil, with their remakes, they can, truly, redo some of these games and well, the most Japanese terms, but, you know, just keeping that nice edge of quality that they've been able to nail on these games. Of course, we may see Resident Evil 4 in the future. That would be crazy. Maybe, you know, it would be crazy, but maybe 5 years from now we could be talking about a Resident Evil 6 remake. I wonder how that would work. I could not tell you. Resident Evil 6 wasn't heralded. Well, it wasn't heralded that well back in the day, but you know what? Maybe if they got a second shot at it, it could be a little exciting if you just take out some of those action bits. But yeah, Resident Evil, there might be something, there may not be. This is basically my own speculation, so we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, E3 is right around the corner. I may be producing a top 5 things I'd like to see from E3, you know, be it stuff that we've heard about, stuff that's rumored, or, you know, just stuff in general. But yeah, look forward to that. And well, this is weekly from Weekly Disaster Games. This is unfortunately it's my first video, and I think it may show in the audio, but you know what, I'm working on it. Hopefully I can get some good feedback from you guys in the comments below. And of course, if you want any more information on any of the stories I talked to about today, just take a look at the links below in the description. Now, I don't really have any information to provide with Resident Evil, since it was, you know, my own speculation, but, you know, look forward to more opinions on that later. Now, I hope you guys have a great day. Please like, subscribe, but just keep on showing up. I'll try to deliver, you know, videos of this quality, maybe even better. And of course, well, see you on the next one, guys. I'm out.